morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to everyone who has joined this exclusive webinar session, which we have scheduled for Bajaj Finance esteemed customers and employees of group companies. Every crisis comes with an opportunity. So, similarly, every market dip is an opportunity to balance your investment portfolio. And considering those times when there is some volatility in the market and people are unable to decide whether to enter into the market or whether to exit, whether to rebalance, whether to switch, we all have that kind of confusions what to do and what to do, right? But why this period is critical? Because right now India is in the journey of celebrating 100 years of independence, and for next 24 years, the period has been termed as Kartavya Kaal. So, what is our journey during Kartavya Kaal? Building wealth with mutual funds towards India's 100-year milestone. The world has already started witnessing various events such as successful completion of Chandrayaan 3 project, Project Aditya launched to study sun. Are we leading the Kartavya Kaal already, or does it tell the growth story in Indian markets, or are you actually participating in the same? To understand all this, we have invited Mr. Amit Purohit from Aditya Birla Mutual Fund AMC as the speaker of the day. Mr. Purohit is head of digital business at Aditya Birla AMC and has been part of the AMC since 2017. Overall career span over 18 years with prominent industries like BFSI, telecom, and pharma. In the past, Amit has associated with organizations like Reliance Mutual Fund, Tata Docomo, and ICICI Bank for business functions like marketing, product management, and strategy, sales, and business development. Amit holds an MBA degree and from Pune and is a BMGI certified green belt holder in Six Sigma also. Without taking much time, I would request Amit to share his thoughts and how Kartavya Kal is critical for our country, for our investors, and what exactly they should keep in mind while taking the maximum advantage of next 24 years. I would say this session will not gonna be a one-side session. It will definitely be interactive session basis the questions we have received from various participants we have today. So Amit, over to you. Thank you so much. Uh, First question I'll just mention, what is your broad thinking of this Kartavya Kal period of next 24? How you look India is one of the good opportunity which world has already started witnessing. So what are your views of the same? That how next 24 years is different from last 24 years? Amit, you are on mute. I think some issues there. Amit is just joining back in a second. While Amit is joining back, I would just like to introduce the AMC. Aditya Birla Mutual Fund AMC you must have seen that yes, for the couple of decades, this AMC is performing wonderful and have launched various funds. It has built a AUM size of close to 3 lakh crores as of now. And the experts and the speakers which we give, welcome and call so as to give some guidance to you, that is their individual personal views and not related to a specific investment strategy. But yeah, it is a broadly acceptable investment strategy as a whole, as a behavioral science from the customer's philosophy point of view. So everyone should evaluate basis their own portfolio, that is how the funds are performing, what should be the market strategy, how the markets are moving, what is the sector which are recommended or which see the growth in next 24 years, and how you can make it parallel your portfolio parallel to the country's growth or the investment growth wherever you are invested in, right? Yeah, let me just, yeah. So Amit is here. Yeah, Amit.
Yeah, I'm so
Uh,
sorry. I had a network
no, no,
outage.
absolutely okay. We understand. So Amit, welcome you, and I would like you to just share your thoughts broadly. Importance of Kartavya Kal, importance of next 24 years, and how next 24 years are different from last 24 years as a country, as an investor. So if you can just share some broader thoughts around it.
Sure. So thank you so much, first of all, Mohit and team Bajaj. I think it will be a great privilege and honor to speak to all of you today. And I firmly believe the time we are going to have, till 2047, which is the Kartavya Kaal. That's what our Honorable Prime Minister also has coined the term. And obviously, with all the good reasons that, what we are going to see in not only near future, but for far away future in terms of so many years also, as we all have started seeing the whole world, the direction it is going and where the India is kind of moving forward. So I don't see anyone has any doubts in terms of how domestic firms in India have started kind of contributing. And at the same time, all the investor fraternity also, like all of us in terms of consumers, how we have started financializing our savings. So just one number which I'll give, and maybe going forward we'll kind of discuss further numbers also. The whole of 2027, 2017, the number of or the value of SIPs that had happened in year 2017, that number is already today in the first 3 months of the financial year of 2023
Oh,
has already surpassed that number. So you can just
okay.
see, how it is kind of multiplying in terms of, retail investors participating in the whole bandwagon of, something called as an SIP, as an instrument to invest and participate into domestic equity and debt market. And obviously, lot of investable money in the form of either a bullet or a lump sum money, which is coming into domestic equity, which in a way shows faith in the whole ecosystem, saying that, how the, Indian ecosystem, how the Indian manufacturing world, how the PLI, support which government is giving in lot many industries, including auto ancillaries and electronics and manufacturing and all, and how India in a way is playing China plus one story in all sorts of fields. It is showing green shoots already in the market. Plus the kind of focus from this government on the infra development, all the way from the roads which are getting laid out, the kind of railway network that we are seeing, the kind of waterways as a completely new and economical way of transporting goods through the veins of India, which are the
Right.
rivers of India, how they are kind of getting explored in a completely renewed way, is something giving a lot of confidence to industrialists as well as to the retail population, be it middle class or be it HNI as a segment. And lately, you all will be happily surprised, the millennials and Gen Zs, the kind of flows which they are bringing in. So earlier,
Yeah.
all of us used to feel that,
Especially
invest.
post-COVID, I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mohit. So
Yeah.
earlier, maybe before COVID, we were thinking that, you should catch people in their mid 30s, where they become little more serious towards their investing requirements. Like, they have their child who is like kind of about to go to school. They have requirement for building a house. They have requirement for maybe buying a slightly bigger car and all. But this
Yeah.
generation, which is Gen Z and millennials, is a completely different one. And unlike a normal feeling that we have, and generally we kind of generalize saying, these are spendthrift. But you will be
Hmm.
surprised, in at least in our ecosystem, the new set of customers who are coming in. More than 40% of new people who are registering with us are from these two
Okay.
age band, like, the Gen Zs and millennials. And
Hmm.
we all know that, you try and catch them young and they stay with you for good, 30-40 years of their investable life. And that's where the whole power of compounding starts working for them as well as, for all of us. And one last this thing before I kind of conclude this topic, and maybe go back to Mohit, is that, the earlier we in this market, I'm referring to equity market, had huge amount of dependence on the FIIs. The foreign investors who used to bring money, from foreign countries. With all the due respect, I think the domestic retail investors in the form of SIPs have started pumping in more than 15,000 crore every month through the route of SIP, and that is kind of helping the whole of for all of us. So I think
Amit, sorry
this is
to
just, if you
interrupt.
ask me,
There is some
beginning
network issue at your
towards
end.
a great future for Kartavya Kaal, and we all should be kind of wholeheartedly participating because as they say, early investing is kind of half the work done, and that's where the power of compounding will start kicking in. So we always advise our investors getting into SIPs
Uh, Amit, your voice is not coming properly. Can you switch off your video? Maybe it will give some better network connectivity. Amit, you're on mute. Yeah, hi. We lost you somewhere
or
for a couple of seconds. What I was suggesting, if you can switch off your video, maybe it will give some better network to the audio at least. We can try that.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I think now it's much
Yes.
better.
Uh,
Great, great. So, Amit, as you rightly said, the Gen Zs and millennials you have started seeing in your own data also that people are quite excited in terms of investing. And SIP seems to be the best way that whatever SIP were done in 2017 that has already been crossed in Q1 for this financial year. I would say there are two things. That first, people are these days relating SIPs more than mutual funds for them. Right? I come across so many people who know what is SIP, but they don't think it is mutual fund, right? Though it's a way to invest, that means SIP is something which has created its own brand value, its own like importance within the customer's life, and that shows that yes, how customers are so much serious about starting in SIP. Also, Gen Zs and millennials, when they have started investing, of course, they start with SIPs, starting the early stage earners, of course, they become serious towards investing and they have longer period to see the magic of compounding. So they are getting serious. But I have a question, and out of curiosity, post COVID, we have seen so many Gen Zs and millennials coming in mutual funds. Have they seen the cycle of the reverse cycle or the downfall of the markets, or are they consistent making the investments, or this is the first shock whenever they have seen? So, what is the trend we are seeing, and what do you suggest for such kind of investors, for the first time investors?
I think that's a great question, Mohit, because as you rightly said, there are certain investors like us who have seen maybe at least 3 4 cycles, and we know that after a certain period, things will change. So I think that for this first time investors have kind of, in terms of completing the cycle, has kind of already started, and that's why you see some amount of SIPs, which kind of very very small percentage, but still some people have discontinued their SIPs, and we feel that looking at again how the markets have started supporting, they would come back to SIPs. My sense is with a bigger rigor, because they have already seen one complete cycle, saying post COVID, how things kind of went down and
Yeah.
went up suddenly, and then things started stabilizing. And I know recently post April, we have seen some amount of drawdown in the markets, and people have seen good 3 months of drawdown, and then again started the curve of upward movement. So one cycle, it appears to be kind of seen and closed. But the stoppages that we used to see earlier in 2008 and all, to that tune, it has not happened. So I think the newer generation, the millennials and Gen Zs, appearing to be a little more patient, and they are giving this thing to the industry, saying that we will be patient and we would want to see even more cycles and maturity in the whole
Right.
market. And that's why I feel they will be continuing the journey, and that's what we have started seeing in the overall market, not only with Aditya Birla,
Yes.
but in general. We have seen the stoppage or the cancellations are not that high. They
Absolutely.
are there, and at the same time, new set of people are kind of joining, double than the people who are kind of
Yes.
canceling.
Yes. Yes.
But it is always a good sign. So what happens is, the individuals, they themselves kind of mature. And
Mhm.
the avenues also, if you see, for investments, like unlike our generations or our parent generations, they were heavily kind of on the focusing on the real estate and gold and similar,
Hmm.
including bank FDs. I think there is a lot of movement from all these three instruments back to mutual funds, which is a very
Yeah.
healthy sign. So I see
Absolutely.
that movement increasing only going forward.
Right. In fact, you rightly said. In fact, in SAPs, what we have observed that people who
Stopping
have
my
not
camera
discontinued
because
or
I
stopped their.
saw some amount of
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, you can continue keeping your video off so that it will be a better network from the audio side at least. Yeah. So in fact, Amit, what I was mentioning that we have also seen in my personal experience also, whenever I
loss
have
in my
continued my
network.
Amit, can you hear me?
So I'm
Amit,
kind
am
of
I
stopping
audible?
the camera till again it kind of
So you can
gets
keep your camera off, Amit. That's absolutely okay.
stabilized back.
Amit, am I audible to you? Uh, Amit, can you hear me? Hello, Amit, am I audible to you? Amit. Okay. While Amit is reconnecting to us, so what I was saying, participants, that in SIPs and in personal experience of mine also, I have seen whenever markets are going down, that's a kind of sale period, right? Whenever in the shopping season we see sales coming up, and we definitely go and buy something wherever we are in need of some shopping for our festivals, for our personal functions. So I believe downfall of the market is also similarly the same. People, in fact, who have continued their SIPs in the downside market, these people have only gained maximum when the markets have gone up, because the rupee cost averaging formula works best when you see the different kind of cycles in the SIP. So even for Gen Zs and millennials, even if you must have seen some kind of downfall in recent past, I believe that is the right time to even top up the SIPs so that you can have maximum units accumulated of the good funds in your portfolio. And whenever markets get revived in the longer run, and definitely it will give you much better rewards. SIP is not something which you plan for just for 2, 3, 4 years. It is always a long-term planning, right? Basis your goals, minimum 5 years can go up to 10, 15, 20 years. Basis different kind of goals you have, whether it is house purchase, car purchase, children education, marriage, or your own retirement. So I believe If you have that kind of clear discipline focus while doing SIPs, you will definitely not consider it as a easy exit investment opportunity in terms of downfall of the market. I believe that is the right time to continue your investments in a long run and just follow the philosophy of invest and forget. Uh, Amit, any views of you in terms of SIP? That's closest to my heart, and
No,
in fact,
what you said is absolutely right. So,
I just thought to check with you also. What do you feel about that?
no, no, absolutely. I think all of us, kind of love SIPs because it does two things. Like as you said, while the money goes out, you don't get a pinch. At the same time,
Yep.
it kind of gives you the cushioning in the market in terms of when markets are down, it will give you more units, and when markets are up, at least you are able to sail through the whole ecosystem. I'll just give you some examples in terms of how powerful this compounding is. So, some of our
Yeah.
funds that we have seen, like our flagship cap fund, which is a flagship fund. If you had invested 10,000 rupee in a month for close to 24 years, it would have given you whooping 4.87 cr at the rate which it is kind of compounding. So these are all not small numbers. In fact, in our ecosystem we have seen customers coming to us and say, because the investment that we have done in some of your funds, I could be
Yeah.
buying a I could be building a house in my hometown. I could send my kids for
Yeah.
education and maybe many more things. So
Absolutely.
these numbers are very large, and the beauty is it is not. I mean, from on from monthly salary also one can debit, and that's how magical it is. Like you will not even feel that your investments are going, and suddenly one fine
Hmm.
day you will get to see a large corpus which people
Yeah.
can use for their planned, like a daughter's or son's marriage, or a buying a house, or sending kids to foreign institution also. Some of our schemes, the kind of returns which they've given is mind blowing, and that's where I think the two mantras. One of the mantra is continuous small amount investments, which one can afford through the through the salaries, and I'm referring to the larger masses of India. And second is keeping patience and faith in the Indian economy. So these two are a very potent tools to kind of do that magical power of compounding, and that's what we have
Hmm.
seen. And the lakhs of investors who are there with us, like today we run a crazy number of individual investors which runs into lakhs.
Yes.
They put their faith and hard-earned money into our scheme. So and they are seeing the benefit. So I firmly believe this is the only magical way. Otherwise, putting in lump sum at a regular frequency, and many people want to time the market. So that also we have
Yes.
seen, a lot of people not able to time, and most of the time it kind of goes the opposite way.
Right.
So nobody today has been able to, since the ages when the markets have started,
Yeah.
nobody or very few people could kind of time it to the T,
Hmm.
market. So rather than timing the market, I think my individual time or your individual time in the market
Yeah.
makes all the difference. So it will be
Yes.
tilted towards time in the market as compared to timing the market.
As
So
that's you rightly said it. The time in the market is also very important. No one can just get a gain over the month or a week or so. You have to spend some time in the market, and timing the market the best way, I would say SIP is the best way to time the market, because no one can see all the opportunities at the right time. But with SIPs, at least you have a continuous disciplined approach through which you can definitely have a systematic investment. And whenever you have a spare money, then definitely you can consider to be parked as lump sum in one go, whenever you see the markets are favorable and stocks and schemes are cheaper. Good. What are your
so true.
views, Amit, on the female investors? Have you seen any kind of trend? Because what I have seen in the past, couple of years, we have seen the percentage of employees in the companies and the earning of females in India are increasing. So, are they also focusing seriously for their own investments, or are they just saving in the bank accounts? So, have you seen any kind of trend, or if yes, what are your views and thoughts or suggestions for the female investors of ours?
I think this is one question which kind of is getting asked almost all the times to all of us, and you'll be surprised in the way the confidence which women investors are showing in the whole ecosystem.
Yeah,
I think there is this beautiful word coined as Nari Shakti. So this is
yeah,
truly getting displayed in the market. So I gone are the days when women used to ask, or maybe they used to rely on their husbands saying that why don't you do investing and
yeah,
planning for me.
yeah,
We have seen sudden trends in terms of women investors starting the new SIPs altogether. And I'm not referring to working women, because working women by design and by definition would pretty much do all those investment planning on their own, right? That's
yeah.
what we have seen last
Hmm.
few years. It has started happening, but especially post COVID, I think what has happened is they've realized how fragile some of the things are, and they've kind of got themselves educated or with the advent of all the digital media, and
Hmm.
they have started taking deeper interest into finance as a world, and investing to be specific, and that's why they've started taking steps on their own, be it
Yeah.
you know homemaker, or be it working woman. Lock, stock, and barrel, people have women have started coming into the ecosystem, and I'm referring to the smaller towns as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a myth that only the larger town or top eight cities
Absolutely.
women would be investing. I'll give you a number, like more than 40% of our new investors coming in, more than 40%
Oh,
are actually women investors, whereas earlier this
very
ratio was
nice.
quite skewed towards the male dominant part, and we used to see
Yeah.
some 20 odd percent women used to come in as fresh investors. Now this ratio is
Right.
completely changing. 40-45% of investors who are coming in, both from smaller and larger, and more from the smaller locations are coming as women investors. So I think the days are changing, and the days are changing very, very rapidly. And
I think this
time
Kartavya Kaal. So yeah, please go ahead, Amit.
No, the time will come where the participation will be almost equal, and maybe I hope that it
Absolutely.
kind of goes even more.
Yes. In fact, women empowerment is a successful and very key important pillar in any of the projects or any of the uh, global or the country goal we set up. In fact, we have seen in this Chandrayaan project, there was a
Hmm.
good fleet number of women scientists who made this project successful, and that shows that yes, there is no such difference as such, and that shows in the numbers in terms of investment within your AMC or the industry as well as you are quoting. I would say gone are the times when only the males used to do the investments in their names. Females are equally independent, and there is no such difference in terms of deciding your own portfolio. Females are equally capable. They can definitely decide where to invest. They can start with smaller amount. They can do lump sum, and I believe all the participants, the female participants, especially in this call, or maybe people who have their spouses or sisters or mothers, they can definitely guide them to explore mutual fund through SIP routes in terms of building your own portfolio and get it rebalance on a regular basis for a long term, which will definitely give them some better financial independence. Right.
Correct.
Now, one more question to you, Amit. That since this Kartavya Kaal, we are listening a lot. In next 24 years, we have seen infra has a very bright future. Like and then manufacturing at a domestic level is seeing have been prioritized by government of India. that they are trying to prioritize maximum, that how much you can manufacture, that should be given priority. What exactly, in terms of, if I ask a specific sector, considering next 10 years in mind, what kind of sectors or what kind of categories one should consider to be part of their investment portfolio? Any views on the same?
See, for me to talk about this thing, I can speak about in general. So, like,
Yeah,
whatever,
general
you
is
know,
okay. I know you are a digital head, and you make people's life simpler by giving them easy journeys and good customer experience in terms of investment. But just from a general view, if you can share some thoughts, that's okay. Otherwise, you can go to
sure.
the next
No,
question.
I firmly believe, like, we as we have seen the this thing happening, I think infra is going to be a big story going forward. So anything
Hmm.
to do with infra, the capital goods, heavy engineering, we see, because there is an impetus from government. We are still yet to put up a lot of roads, a lot of rail network, and stuff. So I it's quite natural, the way the roads are being laid, the way the railway network is being this thing. I think India is in a way very proud that the highest bridge is going to be in India, the highest Statue of Liberty is in India. So all those things are in a way huge fill up to the whole industry. I see some other segments like defense, which
Yeah,
India has now started exporting. So earlier, for years
absolutely.
together, we were kind of importing a lot of defense equipment. So that suddenly has changed, and India is now seen on the forefront of exporting a lot of defense goods and material. So that is another segment which I feel. And third, the whole digitalization and the digital transformation is happening. The tech ecosystem, which is kind of being a the whole brain part, which is kind of supporting the whole of the world, including all the developed countries. Like, you go to US and Europe and all, your
Hmm.
the engineering brain, in many percentages is from India. So that I see will continue going forward. And the whole digital transformation, which has kickstarted, that will roll out very very quickly, and India will play a significant role. The kind of engineers that we have, and the kind of
Yeah,
brain which is there in all the tech and IT companies, they will continue to outshine a lot of other people going forward. And the third, sorry, and the fourth I see is the healthcare. The overall
right.
focus on the healthcare, with the prime minister rolling out a lot of beneficial plan, not only for the
Hmm.
middle class, but for the below the middle class, the thicker of the pyramid, for them also, the kind
Yeah,
of rollouts are happening to take care of health as an ecosystem, and the welfare for people who are generally kind of were not able to afford healthcare. So that theme, I feel, will play out a very very long term, sustained role. So these three four themes, I firmly believe: the infra along with capital goods, the digital
yeah,
transformation, the defense, and the healthcare. Four
right.
themes I feel would play a very large role, and obviously they'll be supported by many other themes like the
Absolutely.
manufacturing, banking and financial service is again a backbone. So it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
blood in the veins. So without money,
true.
you can't roll all these things out. So somebody building a bridge or
Absolutely.
somebody building a steel plant will
Yeah.
require money, from some of the other institutions. So
Yes.
those are the kind of
So
foundations.
overall, there are so many opportunities in next 24 years to look after not only a specific one. So there are different kind of categories like multi-cap or multi-asset. Such kind of uh,
Flexi cap,
opportunities
yeah.
can be explored depending on the risk profile of the investors. They can choose what kind of investment category suits their risk profile, and they can decide their own portfolio the way. When you say
Yeah, some of
digital transformation, yeah, yeah,
yeah. No, no, I was
no,
just
no,
saying,
please go ahead.
somebody who is kind of focusing on their own work, like, the working population, people who are focusing on their own jobs. I see
Yeah.
one particular category which is flexi cap.
Hmm.
That's where the fund manager, you have kind of assigned the work of sizing the market, and in which type of market what will work better, in terms of sometimes front the large caps will do better, sometimes small caps will do better, so
Exactly.
sometimes mid cap will do better. So I think
Hmm.
fund manager whose sole job is to look at the market and
Absolutely.
change the combination of the weightages between
Yeah.
small, mid, and large. That's where I've seen flexi cap outshining other categories, because you are able to size the opportunity and move flexibly within the three categories. So I see flexi cap beating all the other categories hands down. So it takes care of the
Hmm.
volatility also, and it takes care of the
Absolutely.
the return also, as far as I've seen in past.
In fact, I would say now there is so much of transparency that investors can see and the real-time basis that what the fund managers are doing with their portfolios, what is the fund components wherever they are invested in, and that gives much of confidence. And I believe that couldn't be possible without this digital transformation within mutual fund
Yes.
industry space. Also, I remember the times when they used to take like a weeks or so to get the KYC generated by filling 10-pager application form along with the check and other formalities. Now it's just a click away. Within 5 minutes, you are investment ready and you can start your investments whatever way you feel you can, right? While sitting at home through your mobile, through your desktop. Any specific, since being a digital head, you must have come across various such kind of opportunities for the investor. Any experience you want to share in terms of digital transformation or the recent changes which made investors' life simpler in investing? You want to highlight something? Maybe
Oh
related
yes,
to
Mohit.
any regulations or maybe any capability AMCs like you must have brought for the customers' benefit.
Yes, Mohit. So I think what you have highlighted is a very pertinent point, because in this industry we have seen two things till now being a challenge. One is entry and second is exit. So
Yeah.
entry is your KYC part, and second is obviously while you are kind of trying to make the payment, how seamlessly you are able to make the payment and buy your units. So I think both the things, with the advent of digital transformation and government's digital infra, which is called as DPI, so digital public infrastructure. So all those things that you see all the way from Aadhaar, the IMPS, NPCI, UPI payment options, and the recent one is the ONDC, which is now getting into
Yeah.
paving ways for a lot of small merchants to benefit from the e-commerce, and how investments also can be part of it. So government is very, very clear and keen on expanding the whole digital footprint for the last mile, all the way from creating you know public good infrastructure which is free for all, and on top of
Yeah.
it you put layers of your own product, so that you can create a product which is provided by government as a foundation, free for you as the enterprises like all of us, and the final end beneficiary is the masses, the people of India, who
Yeah.
are eventually benefiting. Today, as we have seen UPI crossing all the numbers every month, and there are billions and
Hmm.
billions of transactions happening using
Yes.
UPI, which was not seen as of yesterday. So just one
Hmm.
example, the whole of world's
Yeah.
real time transactions, the real time money transactions, 70% of that is contributed by India. It is not US, it is not UK, it is not UAE, and it is not any other country, but 70% of world's real time payments are happening through India. And that particular interface, the UPI, is now crossing the boundary of India and going international. So similar thing we
Yes.
see happening in KYC. So as we all know, there are four ways of doing KYC. You can do with Aadhaar OTP, DigiLocker, Aadhaar XML, and obviously the video KYC. Now the regulator, SEBI, has also come up with a very nice regulation as recently a few days back saying that you just need to submit the KYC document and you are investment ready. The backend check and whether you are accepted, you are not accepted, all those things will happen on the backend. Front end, suppose I put my Aadhaar number, Aadhaar OTP, and I can pretty much start my buying journey from this moment itself.
Absolutely.
So these is actually bringing an amazing frictionless journey, and
Hmm.
a whole lot of new investors will kind of start benefiting from all these you call it infrastructure, you call it the systems which government is setting up, you call it on top of those
Yeah.
systems the personalization which private organizations like us are making. So this will increase and multiply the new investors. It will bring in loads of new SIPs to all of us, and I think people in general will benefit with a lot of all of us getting into multilingual, so that
Hmm.
people understand their own language, and you speak to them in their language, so that that language barrier is also broken digitally, I'm
Right.
referring to. So
Absolutely.
these things are kind of coming together, and it is kind of culminating into a very nice story for India to increase number of people who are able to kind of participate. I mean, I just see this is begin, because still after all this also the number of investors who are kind of have opened any kind of folio with any one of us
Yeah.
is still a very small percentage of the population which can invest. So I see, it is just begun, and it will kind of catapult into something as a movement, like how the independence movement started
Yeah.
in 1947 for all of us, and that's why we are able to
Yes.
see the fruits of that. So in the Kartavya
Hmm.
Kaal, which is exactly 100 years from 1947, we will see another independence, for the population, which is independence of living the way they want to, independence with the kind of wealth they want to create, with the independence of the
True.
kind of retirement corpus they want to have, with the independence of the kind of house they want to build, the kind of car they want to drive, and lot many other things. We see exactly 100 years. So
True.
government has kind of provided that impetus to all of us, and it is upon us, to help a lot of larger masses to start
Hmm.
investing into a right instrument called as mutual fund.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would say currently there's just 3% of Indian population who is investing in mutual funds. That
Correct.
percentage definitely should go up with the digital ease of the customers that to invest. And as you rightly said, 2 days before the new guideline, which helps much better proposition for the customer to start their investment journey in just a clicks. And with the transparency and the ease of platforms available for the investment, it becomes very much convenient for the customer to invest, to track, and to take any transaction decision at the time of redemptions in a much easier and transparent way. Great,
Correct.
great. And one last question, which is
Sure.
very close to my heart. Whenever we see any fresh first time investor, because as we rightly are saying that there's just 3% of population who is investing, what is your suggestion or whatever, what is your guidance for the person who is just in the thinking stage of investing in mutual funds? What do you suggest to them? What should be the approach and how should he allocate the funds, in case you have certain view of the same? So please help us understanding this.
So I think this is a brilliant question, because a lot of people come and ask us saying that, I'm trying to explore this for the first time. What should I be doing? And kind of please guide us. And so we kind of in a way believe that, there are, suits of, funds which we have, like, starting all the way from liquid fund, which, gives you, better than a, bank account kind of a return. And it has a beauty of as in when you want your money back, within seconds you get up to 90% of 50,000 of your investments back into bank account, just by doing a left swipe. So ideally this is a, in a short term parking kind of a opportunity, where suppose money, I get a credit, and money is lying in my bank account for 10 days, and I'm aware that my EMI is not going to hit for 10 days. So why will I keep money lying in my bank account which earns
Absolutely.
me 2.5%? So what I do is I swipe it into liquid fund, and as and when I need 2 days or one day before, I get it back into my bank account. So that's a beautiful proposition, and we would always advise people to kind of use these kind of opportunities. So your money is working for you. Money is working harder, as you are working harder, for a brighter future.
Right.
And coming back to first time investors who want to touch and feel the investment as an opportunity,
Yeah.
and is also wary of the how markets are going to kind of react or behave. So we believe it should be a combination of equity and debt, and that's where dynamic asset allocation funds like balance advantage fund, which
Yeah.
allocates close to 60-65% into equity, and rest of the money is invested into debt. So what this
Yeah.
does is this does two things. One is when markets are kind of going up and down, it will protect the downside because there is a debt element. But at the same time, because of equity, it will also give you the kind of returns that you are expecting from the market. So it does both the work. On one side, because of equity, it will give you the upside, and because of the debt, it will
Right.
protect the downside. So this is what we
Yes.
feel.
Yes.
I mean, I will not call it as recommendation, but we feel first timers should kind of touch and feel these kind of products, so they get little more comfortable.
Absolutely.
And once you're comfortable,
Yes.
what is your risk appetite. What is how much you can kind of take in terms of whenever markets are down, or how much is something that you're expecting from the market when markets go up. So it
Hmm.
you're testing the waters, like when we go on the beach also,
Yes.
like we kind of enter in the water with the smaller steps, and try and touch
Yeah.
and feel the water, and then you become little more comfortable कि अच्छा चलो मैं थोड़ा और आगे जाता हूँ. So
True.
that's how we feel. First time exposure should be with the balance advantage fund, and
Hmm.
then based on the appetite and your goals and your ambition, one can always move towards strategic investments, which are equity funds,
Yes.
which starts all the way from after balance advantage. You can start, if you want to go step by step, you want to approach a laddered approach,
Right.
then you can say, you're getting into large caps, then you expose yourselves to something like a flexi cap, which is flavor of large, mid and small.
Yeah. Hmm.
Then if you have appetite for even more, and you are putting it for a strategic long term period like 10 to 15 years, then you
Hmm.
can venture into either a small cap or some amount of thematic funds like a digital India fund,
Right.
or
Right.
a banking and financial services fund, or a pharma fund, which are on the other side of the this thing, which are sectoral and thematic. So they kind of play onto
Hmm.
a particular sector of an industry, like
Hmm.
digital is playing onto tech firms. Pharma is obviously into pharmaceutical companies, and banking is banking
Right.
and financial services, NBFCs. So these are specific sectors. So what happens to one sector, same thing will apply to the mutual fund also. So you need to be little more aware of the market and segments, and maybe once you study little more on various sectors, then you can kind of venture into something like this.
Absolutely. In fact, as you rightly said, that there are certain kind of categories available, and I would appreciate efforts by SEBI in last couple of years. They have categorized and recategorized mutual fund schemes in such a way that it becomes very much easier for an investor to choose basis the risk profile, basis time horizon, basis the performance of the funds in the past. He can definitely decide what should be the right component of his own portfolio. And in fact, I always mention one thing, that as we do health review for us, we should always have a financial review also at a certain point of time, right? We should not do it more often on a regular basis, but yes, we should have a disciplined approach to have a regular portfolio review with some industry experts, so that you can decide that yes, in what scenario, what how the fund is performing, how your portfolio is performing. Do you need to switch the funds? Do you need to rebalance? Do you need to top up? Do you need to pause the SIP? Such kind of decisions are very much important while having a long term wealth creation plan in place. And I believe with kind of learnings we have got from Amit, and from this session, whatever is the key takeaway for the viewers, definitely it will help you all to create a wealth and long term in this Kartavya Kal, and will definitely keep bringing such kind of valuable sessions and speakers like Amit, uh, who shares their valuable insights and industry experience for the benefit of individuals. And I would like to thanks Aditya Birla AMC, who is trying to help investors educate in mutual funds as well as the industry, and will definitely have a smaller contribution towards increase of population from 3% investing population mutual funds to higher level number. And definitely that time again we will, and Amit will be discussing those kind of numbers, I would say, for the benefit of investors. Amit, has any closing remarks from your end so that we can
No, I
conclude the
think thank you
session,
so much,
guys?
Mohit, for this opportunity. I think it was a great session, and going forward we will conduct more sessions with Mohit
Absolutely.
and Bajaj Finance. So thank you so much, and completely enjoyed the session.
Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you for your valuable time, and thank you, valuable speakers, valuable participants, and the coordinate team to make this event successful and coming for this event. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Very good evening.
Thank, thank you.